harm you. They can't harm me. My office locks from the inside. I mean, 6,000 people would probably break through, but
like a horde.
I've got a lock on the
angry Twitch
inside.
people.
Yeah, just like zombies. Let's see your best zombie impression. Come on.
My best zombie impression. They
Yeah,
just make like
go.
a noise, like I'm a zombie.
Oh, that is really
they
low
say
energy.
I'm a zombie.
You're never going to be an extra in Shaun of the Dead 2, are you?
Absolutely not. No, there's no zombie energy there, Squid. No zombie energy there. You want to give me your zombie impression? I'll be all critical of it as well. But I can't imagine it's much better than mine. That's what noise I'd make if I turned into a zombie. I just go.
That's what noise you make when you cast.
Haha.
Da 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 da. I'm only joking. We do love Emo J. I'm turning on him now. It's anarchy on the desk.
I'm gonna start getting the hairline jokes out in a minute. Then you go there.
Here you go. I feel confident. I feel like I could go toe to toe in a little insult battle. Like you couldn't even throw down a beat.
Nor could you.
No, that is true. To be fair. See, I really want to do the zombie impression. It's been like it's stuck in my head now, but. Firstly, I think it's going to sound really bad. And then secondly, I think if I did commit, because if you do this, you've got to commit. I think I would wreck my voice. And we've got 2 best of 3s to go. So I'm pretty sure we can't do it.
Fine. I'll let you off.
This is an unfair roster. Look at this. We've got, what's this? A 9 versus 4?
It's Ted and Eric on the server.
Funnily enough, when you play against Mad Lion CT side, it does feel like you're playing against 10 players. They're just everywhere, especially on Vertigo yesterday. That A bomb site defense, the rotates was so damn fast that I wouldn't be surprised if this is Mad Lion's secret. Just everyone in Denmark's going to join the team. This is like, they've taken the Astralis style with this 7-8 man roster. They've got bot Ted and bot Eric in the server. Ted and Eric are I think they're going to be the MVPs.
Yeah, they're the ones to watch. Oh no, they're gone. They're gone, Squid. It's a shame that we're having these problems. At least we got the knife round underway. At least we got to see that. That's what we've been waiting for. Hopefully
so if you drew a graph and just plotted like job, it's like a bar chart. Job versus how much hair you have. Like casters is like a moderate amount. We lose our hair quite quickly, like me included. But then production, it's way less hair because they've got a far more stressful job than us. When we're just sat here talking about garbage and getting like a tiny bit of flack, the producers are scrambling around, trying to tinker with stuff, trying to, again, phone up Bill Gates, see what's wrong with the internet. This is hair-losing stuff, Jay.
Yeah, okay, I agree with that. I was wondering where you were going with that, but yeah, they're literally pulling their hair out when they're running.
Yeah, and then of course at the top of the chart is the Eternal J.
I don't know what to say. I
was hoping for you to say me. You're supposed to bring me back on topic, man. That's your job. That's in the job description.
Okay, fine.
You're the professional bring Squid back on topicer.
Okay, all right. Anything but that. Let's go back to James Bond or something.
I mean, that was a classic.
That was. I like that. I like that idea. We should pitch that, or you should pitch that. I'll be in the background.
I'm going to pitch it to Sam Mendes or whatever his name is, the producer. I think he's the ex-producer at this point. I think somebody else is doing it.
Yeah, you do that. I'll just be in the background of the pitch room. I'll just be going do. I'll just do like background music and sound effects.
You're like a solo John Barry orchestra.
Yeah, that's me.
I've
got loads of instruments on me. I've got like a harness of just instruments.
Ba 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 da ba 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 da ba da ba ba. I love that. I do like a good bit of James Bond. What's your favorite James Bond movie? And that's one to the Twitch chat as well. And if anybody agrees with me, I'll give you a little prize or something. I've got some like 3 pence, 5 pence skins in my inventory. Somebody can take something. If you get it right though, so M and J, you first. Favorite James Bond movie? Let's go.
I like Casino Royale.
Oh, there we go. He's got it straight away. Top James Bond movie.
It's not
the best one.
Poker fan.
I mean, the poker in that movie actually does suck. Like, it's not real. It's not like genuine poker. As somebody who plays quite a bit of poker myself, the poker in that movie is pretty sloppy. There's not one good poker player between the lot of them. And they always get just dealt like a royal flush.
That's just because it's a movie. I think Casino Royale, but like with real odds.
There are some good poker movies. There are Rounders with Matt Damon is a good poker movie with real poker.
I haven't seen it. I'll have to give it a watch.
It's from like the 90s. I want to find out what Twitch chat. We've got like 7,500 people here now, so surely we can get some good opinions. At the same time, if you've got a question that you want answered, get in that chat because we will be answering it right now. I refuse to throw to a break. We're going to fill for eternity until this game starts.
Yeah, last time we had what, 2,500 people. They gave some pretty awful questions.
We had some. This Twitch chat is far better. We've got more people, more opinions, and hopefully more questions. But because of the delay, we've got to wait a minute or so. So we can just talk about stuff for the time being. Do you have a question, MNJ? I'll let you start off proceedings.
Do I have a
I'll read out your name as well. If you come up with a good thing. Now, Archie says, nothing against casters, but can you make funnier jokes than this? Literally, I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel here, bro. This is all I've got.
Yeah, we've been on for a while with no Counter-Strike to cast.
I mean, we've probably filled for a total of an hour. Like I'm cool with that. I do like a good fill, but I need some support from the Twitch chat, Jay. I need some emotional support. And I need you to ask me a question, Jay, because you've got some ideas.
I need to ask you a question. I get to talk to you all the time, Squid. Any question I could possibly have for you, I've asked you already.
Is that really true?
Don't know. I've never met you in real life, Squid. How tall are you? There you go.
I'm 5'11". I'm something
5'11".
like that. I tell people I'm 5'11 and a half. All right, then. We've got production slamming me as well now. That's the hairline, the height. How old are you? Not how old are you? How tall are you, Jay?
I'm actually 6 foot. I hate to be an inch taller than you.
What? You're not taller than me.
I think.
I'll, like bash your head with a little hammer or something, like whack-a-mole style, to make you a little shorter. I think people expect me to be a bit taller. I feel like people get disappointed when they meet me and I'm like a little shorter than I come across. So, for all of you lovely people in Twitch chat who don't know what's going on, maybe you just tuned in, there have been pretty much global internet outages today. You can go on like Down Detector or whatever. I was a little shocked when I saw it myself. So actually just unavoidably delayed for this one. Sometimes the internet just doesn't want to cooperate. And today is one of those days. But unfortunately for you, you've got me to fill. All right, I saw on the Spanish stream that they played Hangman earlier. Okay, Jay?
Yeah.
So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna play Hangman. We'll go back to the cameras, but I need to think of I think we need to think of a word first. Let me go.
I'm gonna put you in that department. You can be the word department.
All right, I've got one. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I don't actually know how to draw the Hangman man. So we'll draw something else instead, I guess. So we've got 9 letters. Are we allowed to go back to the cameras? Because we'll play Hangman. This is what they've been doing in the official Spanish stream. So I've stolen this idea off of that guy. Let me see. Are we on camera? I don't know. I'm not sure. There we go. We are. So this is what I've got. It's quite hard to see, but 9 letters, and people in the Twitch chat. Oh, I guess we've got such a long delay. This is not going to work, Jay. We'd have to wait a minute. I've bumbled this up. I've bumbled it. What we'll do is we'll wait for them to get involved. But you can start us off with a letter, Jay. Pick a letter. Give us a vowel. Give us a consonant. What do you want? A letter. Okay, there isn't an E, but there are 2 E's. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because I really don't want to mess this up. So we've got an E at the end and an E in letter 5. What does my camera look like? There we go. So there we go. So we've got 2 E's. It's a 9-letter word. So the first person in the Twitch chat to get the word correct, I'll be so impressed. Apparently we're going into the game. Can we do this forever? Can we not do this all day? Come on, we need another letter, M&J, quickly. There is an R, yes. Here we go. We're going into the game very shortly, so Hangman's almost over. So we've got an R. When somebody, right, give us another letter, J. Let's go. A. There is no A, all right? So there's the stem drawn already. What's next? Let's get another letter.
A P.
A P. There's no P. You're picking pretty lame letters.
Lame letters.
So I'm going to go for that next.
C.
A C. So another loss. There we go.
Anyone in Twitch chat putting any letters? Because we're now on.
No. You've got to get. You've got to get the. You've got to carry on. There's such a long delay that this isn't going to work. So go on. It's not a Counter-Strike term, by the way. There we go.
Not a Counter-Strike term. It's just a word.
Straight.
You've just picked a random.
No, it's just
word.
a random word. It's just a word.
Okay, D.
Right, come on. D. No, this isn't going very well for you, bro. Let's go. We've got the little hanging store cup.
I'm running out of letters, Squid. I'm going to have to get the alphabet up.
There are 26 letters. There are plenty of letters. A K? No. Right, we're on to the head.
B.
Oh yeah, there is a B actually. My bad. Right, the B is letter 3. If somebody gets that, I'll be impressed. So we've got, this is letter 1 down here. We end with an E. So it's something, something B, something ER, something, something E.
Wow.
Come on, let's go.
S.
No, there's no S. We've drawn his neck at this point. In fact, no, we've drawn his body. We'll do this. You've got 2 legs and an arm remaining.
F. People are saying F in Twitch chat. People are saying F.
Yeah, I'm sure they are. Okay, that's a leg. There's no F.
There's no F. Oh, wow, I've been let down. M.
How are you this bad?
M.
This is pretty bad. Okay, no, there's no M. So if anybody gets that word, we'll be impressed. But for the time being, we'll leave that there because we are getting into this semi-final, boys and girls. Let's watch some Counter-Strike. Mad Lions versus ESPADA. It's going live right here, right now with the knife round. It's been a long time coming, M&J, but here are finally those loot bet odds. You've had about a week to bet on them. Mad Lions, only very slim favorites coming into this one. And this is not the knife. It's already been played. We get right into the pistol, quickly into the action. You wouldn't think that this round would have taken me by surprise considering the 90-minute delay, but nevertheless, that's a lightning-fast opening headshot.
Actually gets Dima down to 1 HP, so still a 5 versus 5. As they continue to storm their way over towards a long A-core with this USP. Has to be pinpoint accurate. He has got his teammate here, though, and it's Roy to find the opener. Traded right back out by A-core. The man advantage still lying firmly with the Mad Lions as they chip away further at this T aggression. And Dexter and Sophic now They're on this bomb site, but look at how many CTs are all around for this retake. They have to try and wriggle their way back in, and it's not going to happen. Just finds that opener. Sopvik's going to fall in due time. And the Mad Lions take the pistol round very, very convincingly, actually keeping 4 players alive there.
Yeah, fairly impressive pistol round. Exactly what you would expect from Mad Lions. Surviving with 4. Yes, the bomb does go down early, but I don't think that Mad Lions are going to be too shaken about that one. 1-0. Nice economy to start us off on this CT side. They instantly whip out the double M4, double MP9 setup. And Acor, what does he go for here? I would presume perhaps a scout, or maybe he wants to conserve the cash for an early AWP. He does neither. Dropped an M4A1S. Remember, he was the shining star yesterday against MIBR. If he can have a good performance once again, I don't know what ESPADA can do against him. Yes, they've got the firepower provided by Dexter, but I just think Acor's a couple of levels above and beyond what he can provide. He's definitely my star featured player coming into this series. ESPADA, they're going to be instantly heard. Roy's got this corner under lockdown, and the MP9 bullet conservation is key as he sprays away everybody. It's working wonders for his bank account. All 5 frags banged by the MP9s. That's 2-0. And just so we do top this one off, people said in you, the hangman died, but the word was Toblerone. It's the chocolate Toblerone, so 7,000 people lost. There we go. I'm screwing it up, and now we're going to cast some CS, which everybody would prefer.
That was a meme one. I was thinking gaming, esports, but no, Toblerone. You've gone completely off the topic there. Either way, ESPADA. This is now their buy round. Of course, they went for the full eco in the last. They're actually facing up against a bonus from the Mad Lions. They've still got 3 MP9s in hand, and Finnegan, well, thins out the numbers. Now there's only 2 MP9s left roaming around. Nice boost comes in from Connector, but he's not going to catch anyone out as of yet. Patsy's actually playing this very, very passive. ESPADA, of course, with this man advantage. Don't want to be giving it up just yet. They're just going to take some slow control for now.
That's a fast headshot. Remember, this is a bit of a bonus from Mad Lions carrying the MP9s into this one. It's not a must-win round, M&J. Of course, they've got a little bit of bank behind them, guaranteeing about $35,000 to $4,000 over in the bank accounts going into round number 4. It won't be a completely broken buy if ESPADA now run over the top, which does seem to be happening. Dima another headshot, leaving just 2 remaining. And despite his presence over by B, the A bomb site's completely open, both defenders spotted, and ESPADA can now trail Blaze onto this pointy letter. Bomb can very easily go down, and it's time to save for Mad Lions.
If they can hold on to these 2 M4s, they'll actually have plenty of money going into the next, because they can drop a couple of rifles. Roy has actually got enough to go for an AWP and drop it over to Acor, and they could have an absolutely full buy in this next round, but they have to hold on to these rifles. For now, it actually looks like ESPADA aren't even going to hunt all too much. They've sent out Patsy hunting. They might aggress further, actually. I was thinking they wouldn't, purely down to the fact they don't have tons of money in the bank. They don't want to expend any of these weapons. But they are feeling around. Yeah, okay, they're not aggressing too far. There's no way they're going to take out those rifles. Innocent and Acor will bring them into round number 4. And I think that means we will see an absolute full buy from Mad Lions. I'm interested to see if Roy drops an AWP as well. That's exactly what he's going to do.
Basically, Mad Lions need to guarantee the AWP for Acor in almost every single round, if possible. And with that sniper rifle in play, it gives a massive advantage to Mad Lions if they can get him firing on all cylinders. I can't underestimate or overstate how much of an advantage it is to get this AWP in hand. In ESPADA, they could walk into this. They've got presence all over the map, and Acor's right over the top. He's waiting for the reactive flashbang, and he does get caught off by Dima. That's lovely stuff to do the initial damage. Asilian now has to grab the AWP. He's, of course, the secondary sniper over by B. And with this scoreline being 2-1, This is the breaking point for the Mad Lions economy. They really can't afford to lose this one. Otherwise, they go down 2-2, 2-3. ESPADA might be able to trailblaze the scoreline back to actually a short advantage here in this first map. We know that this is the must-win for ESPADA. We talked about the breakdown of the actual statistics hours ago before we got into this series. ESPADA with a hot, almost 80% win rate here on Overpass, 13-3 being their wins to losses. It's a must-win if they're going to beat Mad Lions in this series.
Oh, the timing there for Asilian to fall back is quite impeccable. That's going to allow the T's to get straight onto this A bomb site. The only real spanner in the works is Roy over on long, but he's going to get made easy work of. Demon's going to take him out. 2-man advantage and the bomb site for ESPADA. I wouldn't be surprised if the Mad Lions actually go for a save here. That's exactly what they're going to do. They fall off of this one. They know that if they save, they'll have some cash to go into the next with. If they don't, they'll be on a full eco and they'll almost certainly allow ESPADA to take the lead. So this is the smart play from the Mad Lions, but considering they had that early start, they got out the gates hot, they found those open in 2 rounds rather convincingly as well, to allow it to go back the other way and ESPADA to actually find their footing early on is quite a dangerous factor, especially if you're Mad Lions right now. Patsy, he's getting quite close, might be able to snatch away one of these rifles, but I don't think he'll have time to. He's not going to aggress any further, and all 3 of them will stay alive going into number 5.
Here comes the dilemma for Mad Lions. I guess you do invest into the other 2 players, but if they don't, if they do eat the full eco, I guess they get 5 rifles in the next as well. But with that AK and AWP in play, I think you just have to bite the bullet and go for this buy in number 5. We see Roy with the MP9, Asilian with a FAMAS. It's far from perfect, especially when it comes to the utility. You definitely want a smoke and a flashbang, an Acor's hand to bail him out of trouble if that AWP does get into a sticky situation. But I do like this configuration for Mad Lions. They are set up to deal with this B push. And with Shush taking water control, Acor, he's going to be challenged. There's the flashbang. No smoke to once again get him out of a world of trouble. And he instantly falls to Dima. There go the openings. And where's the closer for Mad Lions? That's a massive spray away. The M4 doesn't give away tracers. So Shush is able to double things through into a 2 versus 2. Patsy, Dexter, they don't have any flanks in effect. And Patsy, being the last alive, now needs to negotiate his way onto this B bomb site. The C4 dropped in the open, a crossfire established. That's a nice angle and the response off Shush to close things down for 3.
Or being retrieved as well. That's exactly what we saw yesterday from the Mad Lions. These perfectly coordinated plays where they're in a 2 versus 1 and they say, right, okay, you face and I'll swing off of your contact. And there's no way that we lose that situation. Very, very nice stuff. I like that setup as well. And it's interesting how they had a fantastic read on the situation. They were almost exclusively holding B. They had 3 guys over towards that B site. They had 2 in the connector going for that boost to hold the short tunnel. And it meant that if they did hear that info over towards A, then obviously they're on that quick rotation. They're playing quite deep, so they can hear the sound cues. But if it does go for B, then they're all there. They're ready to shut it down. And that's exactly what they did. They take the lead once again. Of course, ESPADA will have enough money in the bank to go for a secondary buy here. It's actually going to be a pretty healthy one as well. The AWP on Dexter, 1 on Acor. 2 very, very talented AWPers in this server. And on a map like Overpass, they'll certainly be battling it out.
Yeah, the building blocks of that defense posted, and Mad Lions do get up to a nice 3rd. With the AWP still in play, they do have a decent amount of firepower here in the 6th. And ESPADA speeding things up before the B bomb site. Dima's obviously feeling confident with his 5 frags already found thus far. He's been that entry player, fast running gun, especially towards B, where Mad Lions haven't really been able to hold him at an arm's length, which is the defense's job. Their top priority is to keep this experienced veteran out. A minute 15. Now the nade starting to whiz on through. Not much damage dealt. Secondary Molotov in. This means less angles for ESPADA to check on their entrance, but with only Dima taking the firefight up close and personal, I don't even know how he gets away with that initial frag onto Innocent. Still a 4 versus 4. Dexter's taken damage in the meantime. as they perhaps want to send things into this A-bomb site.
Either way, the AK and MP9 go 1-for-1. A fight that the CTs will certainly be happy to win, but Acor, he's exposed and he's looking the wrong way. He's got no teammate there to support him. Roy finally rotates through, but he's only good for the dink. The man advantage now back in the favor of ESPADA, and Asilian has to do the work. He actually swings out and does a fair amount of damage, but can't convert that kill. And he needs to just stay alive here. He needs to wait for Shush to come round the back and actually work some kind of pincer. Otherwise, there's no chance whatsoever. Instead, he's wary of the flank. Shush has been spotted, nonetheless finds the kill. Now a 2 versus 1. It's a very doable one as well, as both of these T players are low. But they have to be wary of Dexter. This is going to be such a difficult position to clear. And I think they actually just fall back for the save. There's actually 2 kits in play. I did question whether they had kits. Instead, they're going for this save. And they want to bring these weapons into the next. Their goal right now is just to not allow ESPADA to take the lead and take the economical advantage as well.
Unfortunately, Mad Lions had made their decision about 20 seconds prior that they were saving those 2 rifles. It is without a lot of money, but once you've made your mind up, you can't reverse that decision when the bomb is only half ticked, especially with that second member so far away from this A bomb site. ESPADA pretty much have the round lock and key, despite having only 70 HP between the 3 of them. 3-3 on the board here. Another force buy through for Mad Lions. Yes, Acor keeps a little bit of reserve bank in play, but it's this double stack setup. I don't think ESPADA are going to be wary of this. Instantly getting thwarted. Ooh. There's the secondary boost. Both finding success.
That's actually such a fantastic setup. That secondary boost covering their teammates from the push. A very nice grenade to take out Asilian, but still the man advantage for the Mad Lions. That M4 is going to be retrieved as well, and ESPADA are going to have to backtrack here. Only the AWP on Dexter still holding this monster angle. It's looking like they do still want to go for B here, in fact. They are going to be walking into somewhat of a stack, though. It's not really a stack anymore. They've actually started to disband. There's only 2 CTs holding this area. As Shush gets smoked off, he is going to be forced to drop down. They need to find these openers. They've got the rifles to do so now with as well. At the start of this round, they had a couple of MP9s in play, but off the back of those kills, they've been able to retrieve the right weaponry. And Acor on this flank as well might be able to get some work done if he's quick enough.
I think Acor's just sat into the back of Connector, and as the rotate comes through, oh no, the timing. It's actually fairly poor. Perhaps they catch Dexter, but that would have been a doublet of T's taken for Acor. If you'd just been a little luckier, that boost is flawless. It's perfect. Allows Acor to get right in the back lines. Nice spotted, takes away Dexter's AWP. And now with the bomb dropped, it's practically round over. Finnegan, yes, he can scramble to try and get out of dodge with this AK. But I love that Acor is just hidden in hiding. Does finally survive, and I don't think that there's any opportunity for Shush to cause any further economical damage with Finnegan just hidden away behind Monster. 4-3, good tenured round from Mad Lions. They take the short lead.
I'm actually quite surprised that Mad Lions convert that one. It was a little bit of an ill-advised buy. They saved 2 rifles, and they had 3 guys that were just sitting around the 2k mark, and they decided to invest into pistols and like a couple of SMGs. It was a bit of a funky one, but it works out nonetheless. That boost setup that they went for was absolutely fantastic with the 2 rifles that they had at hand. And now they're back in the driving seat. Incredibly close game on our hands so far, and a good Molotov as well is actually going to force Roy out of position. The sound cue will be heard. You might get checked here. Perhaps it wasn't. They have smokes in hand. If he swings, he might be able to do some damage. Instead, he's going to hold his angle. Hatsy, in the meantime, finds one of his own, but Roy trades one back. Needs to be careful of Dexter, but he's not going to check it. Dexter finds that headshot. The man advantage back in ESPADA's favor. 4 versus 3, minute 10 on the clock. ESPADA, struggling to take control here.
I love that they wean Roy out of position. That's actually a fairly abusive setup for ESPADA. Playing from both Party, Fountain, and Connector puts him in a real sticky spot without the support of any AWP. Of course, Acor's just forced onto this M1S instead. He's good. But if you had that sniper rifle as the support, perhaps Roy is bailed out there. Nevertheless, he's actually lucky to get at least one frag and a little bit of extra bonus damage onto the second. But with 30 seconds left, here come the forces onto this A bomb site. Acor has to be the solo defender. And we can see that the rotates are miles away. When's he going to call for them? Finally, Mad Lions, they're on the run, finally on the move. Acor finds one and backtracks. That might be the best case scenario for him right here. The Sicilian pitches in from the rear. Dexter now needs a tough, tricky 1 versus 3, and he might just go for both of these kills. M&J, the smoke placed, shush in the back lines, and that's a 5th for Mad Lions.
That was absolutely fantastic, especially with the Sicilian coming in from connector just in the nick of time to deny that plant. It means that there's tons of time pressure. It's a 2 versus 1. It's a very doable 2 versus 1 most of the time. But with 10 seconds left on that clock, he knows that if he goes for the plant, he's going to be pushed. So he has to just tap it, try and swing, and either take both of the fights or at least one of them to make the situation doable. And there was just no chance in doing so, especially when you've only got 6 seconds. Sophic. I thought he might have an angle there with that deagle, but of course gets flashed, so can't actually see anything. Mad Lions nonetheless, they're 2 in the lead, and this is effectively an eco here from ESPADA, just with a few deagles here and there. There's no Kevlar to back it up, so this will almost certainly be the CT's round for the taking, and if they can do, then it'll be 6-3, which is a little bit of a gap that will be established. They finally will be able to pull away a little bit. They won't be trading rounds back and forth, which has made the economy quite shaky so far. With Acor opening things up, looking for more as well as he actually stays on this angle. This should just be a clean round for the CT side.
I can't imagine anything more than economical damage. A bomb plant pretty much out of the question, and ESPADA forced back by the rifle power of Mad Lions. This needs to be a flawless round for the Danes, and well, they seem to be taking up to the task. Acor nicely sweeps away the final 2 out of the server, trades up to a couple of AKs, and Mad Lions back to winning ways. Still deprived of that AWP. It's unfortunate that Acor hasn't had it in hand, but realistically, he's been just as effective with the M4A1S. 9 kills, only 4 deaths. ESPADA haven't been able to deal with him thus far. Let's see if that changes with further rifles in their hands over in round number 10.
He's actually had a lot more luck with the automatic rifle. The 2 rounds that he's had the AWP, the first time he went for that short boost and got eliminated instantly, and the second time he got swarmed on that B site. But look at this aggression. Roy's pushed right into Fountain, found the kill onto Finnegan, who actually had the bomb. They obviously can't continue to hold it because it's in no man's land, but they continue to do so anyway. Loads of firefights come through and actually end up on top. This was a full buy from ESPADA, and they're able to get nothing done. Innocent comes through with a 3k at the end. Mad Lions put themselves onto 7 and break the bank once again of ESPADA. This has gone from rounds trading back and forth and being a super close game to now Mad Lions pulling away. And if they can win this next round, which they should be able to, they put themselves onto 8, which is fantastic early on their opponent's map pick.
Yeah, this starts to get a little scary from ESPADA. They, as a result, take the tactical pause to discuss matters. The money completely broken. This will be pistols, perhaps deagles at best. We see the Tech 9s. Maybe a little bit of fast run and gun into B, perhaps. Leaves you without many options whatsoever. Both teams taking tax. Mad Lions, I would assume that they're feeling fairly confident as of this point. The AWP back in the hands of Acor. That's where he's best poised. Roy has had quite the start to this series. Shush as well, to be perfectly frank. 9-1. And realistically, that's his KD. 7-3 on the scoreboard, of course. Remember, you can go and check out Hellcase, Malta AV or Malta V. I always get it wrong. Or Malta V15. Those are your coupon codes if you want to go and check out and take advantage of those little bonuses, those gimmies. I always do like a little bit of a freebie.
Wow, this round might just be a freebie for the Mad Lions as they face up against nothing really from ESPADA. Just a couple of pistols. Sophic, the only man with Kevlar. So they'll head over towards B. An opportunity for them to get some damage done, especially with this flashbang. The reload has to come through on the M4, and it's only Asilian with this AK. He has to spray away, and he gets himself 2. The M4 can chime in, and it's Shush to finish things off. Mad Lions put themselves onto 8. And that was, yeah, that was just a really easy, clean round from them. I got a little bit worried when, of course, you spam through the smoke with that M4, run out of ammo, then they flash through. There's an opportunity to get overwhelmed. Asilian picks up the pieces quite well there, though.
Mad Lions are looking very, very scary. I said at the start of this broadcast, they looked like, for this level, a championship-level team. And I think that their CT sides from start to finish, remember 16-1, 16-6 against MIBR yesterday. And once again, it's Shush this time, just spraying through the smoke. Heavy damage dealt, almost 300 total. ESPADA, they've been cut down before they even lift off. A complete crash into the B-bomb site. And Sotvig, he's just unable to put together the damage. 9-3, Mad Lions, they're on a tear right now. This CT side M&J looks like a spanking machine on the B-bomb site. Right through those smokes, peppering through between 200 and 300 damage every single time. That's before ESPADA even get to set eyes on a defender. And this is 9-3 as a result. They're doing beautifully.
They absolutely are, and ESPADA in these final rounds are starting to get into this cycle where they've got this loss bonus and they're now just forcing with it. Finnegan jumps across, he actually spots that AWP, but again, so much pressure here from the Mad Lions. They're trying to take so much control early on. They're winning all of their aim duels, and if you're ESPADA right now, you have got to be worried. Every single angle you peek, there's potential that there's an AWP waiting on the other side, an angry rifler that's gonna flashbang you in the face and then put a bullet in your head. Nice flash coming through. Oh, I'm not going to spot anything. There's actually a deep smoke in play. ESPADA are setting up for this B push, though, with a minute 10 on the clock. I think they commit to this as the flashes come over. They push right into the site. Sotvik with this Galil. The entry fragger trying to get something done. They do land a dink, but look at this stack. There's 4 CT players already here to shut this down, and so far they're winning all the duels. Innocent with 2 headshots, and they should just be able to put this one to bed.
This is beautiful stuff from Mad Lions. Yeah, once again closes this one away. Dexter with a slight opportunity. This was a 1 versus 4, and both of these final CTs are fairly low, peppering a couple of shots through, and, well, there's the third. Innocent able to swing in trade, up to 10 for Mad Lions. And I've got to say about that defense, the anti-flashes from Mad Lions were flawless. ESPADA had already negotiated their way out of Monster, closer to that B bomb site. That's actually the hard bit of getting onto B. But flash after flash, ESPADA slowed to a halt, and they weren't able to find the opening frags as a result. It allows Mad Lions that full rotate over on and through. 4 players meet and greet them. And this isn't MagCon. This is the B bomb site where you don't want that many CTs facing off. 10-3. This is looking very dominant once again from Mad Lions. Finally, a couple of kills from the Tech 9.
That all comes off the back of a whiff shot from Acor as well. Incredible stuff from Finnegan. He now wields that big green weapon as they push on to this A site, but Asilian trying to say no, denying them at the door. Another whiff shot comes through on that same AWP. Maybe it's Cursed Squid, because they're now just getting completely shut down. Innocent finds himself 2 more, and it's Shush to close things out. Mad Lions, it was looking a little bit shaky for them, but they put their 11th on the board nonetheless. And ESPADA now. Oh, I've said it a couple of times here, Squid, but they were keeping it close at the start. We saw things level out 3-3. They were trading rounds back and forth. I thought we had a competitive game on our hands. And instead, the Mad Lions have just pulled away, and they're so quick. As soon as they get away and they break away, you just can't catch them.
Not a chance. And once again, it's the utility usage from Mad Lions being the magic trick. Right there in the 3 versus 3, everybody from ESPADA rendered blind. And then you've got the X factor of Acor finding these opening shots now as well. This series is only going to get harder and harder for ESPADA. This is very much looking like a 12-3 half. Even with the AWP of Dexter in play, he just hasn't had the same effect as he has against the Windstrikes and the Gambit youngsters of the world. Mad Lions, they're a different tier of opposition here. And realistically, that's why I was surprised the odds were so close going into this. Mad Lions have been dominant in a lot of these series. A couple of shakes in the best of one versus Gamer Legion, but realistically, we need to chill out over that statistic. It's a best of one, it's on Mirage, Gamer Legion are a streaky side, and they didn't even win the map anyway. A win is a win for Mad Lions, and I think that that's what you've got to be prioritizing in these series. And when you're winning just all of your maps, how are you going to lose a tournament like this? You've got to lose 2 out of 3 to even get knocked out in this playoff stage. So another flashbang, and you see that it bails Asilian out of Worlds of Trouble. Yes, he's stuck in the corner with 3 points of health, but ESPADA cannot capitalize, and now they're being ground to a halt once again. Sotvig, he does have the HP, but not the numbers advantage. Another 1 versus 3, starting to pump in a couple of kills, but it's not good enough. 12-3 here, dominant, overwhelming half.
It absolutely was. When you look at those odds that come through at the start of the game and you compare it to the statistics, you say, do you know what? There's a lot of experience on this ESPADA side. They've had quite a lot of success recently as well, winning week 7 of the Malta Vibes, in fact. And of course, this is actually their best map overpass. They have an incredible win rate on it. They've pulled some really good results against some really top teams. And you think, yeah, do you know what? They've got a really good chance here. But when you actually look at Mad Lions and you look at some of the teams they've been facing against recently, and you actually get the opportunity to watch some of their games like we had the privilege of doing yesterday against MIBR, you realize that, as you say, they are just on another level. They're a different caliber of team, and ESPADA have come into this one and certainly got more than they bargained for.
Exactly. When you look at ESPADA's victory, it's a tiny bit of a false positive. As impressive as it is, you aren't playing against the likes of MIBR and Mad Lions. That was during the Tier 1 player break. Remember, all of these top teams, they've taken almost 2 months away from the competitive scene. And although some players, I'm sure, would have reclined their gaming chairs 180 degrees and chilled out like JDM, Mad Lions, they're not one of these rosters. They've been putting in the homework, the hard work. They've got the pen and paper out, and they've definitely come into this tournament prepared. They've beasted everybody from start to finish, and this tear continues in the semi-finals. It's not like they're being contested for maps. They're barely being contested for rounds in these series, M&J. 16-1 against MIBR yesterday, and realistically, similar scorelines going on to ESPADA's map pick of Overpass. Mad Lions have an opportunity to close this map out right here, right now. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the 16-3 here.
I certainly wouldn't be surprised either. Mad Lions, they've shown us in the past that they have what it takes to be the top of the world, and they want to be there once again. Shush. Oh, tapping away with that Glock. Can't find himself any more than one, but his teammates are chiming in elsewhere. They take that kill in the toilets. That's going to completely open up that A bomb site, and that Molotov completely cuts off the rotations as well. ESPADA, they either have to wait it out, which means that they're going to be far too late to the party, or they wrap all the way around, which once again has the same outcome. No chance whatsoever here.
It's basically the round taken via 1 Molotov there. You're absolutely on the money. There's nothing that ESPADA can do once that molly drops. If you push through it, especially the unarmored pistols in a round like this, you're taking 80 damage. If you've got the body armor, you're still taking 50. The round is over. It's a double-edged sword. And Mad Lions, it's that utility usage every single time to take rounds and put them on the board. 13-3. They look unstoppable here on Overpass. And considering this is ESPADA's pick, I don't think it lies... I don't think that there are good signs for this series being massively competitive. I know that we were 90 minutes delayed getting into this one, but Mad Lions trying their utmost to put us back on schedule.
Well, if they can close it out here, then they absolutely can. And something that I talked about yesterday, something that I've talked about a fair amount throughout a lot of these 9-to-5 games as well, is so many of these teams at this tier have an issue with closing out these maps. And that's just not something we saw from the Mad Lions yesterday. They were dominant throughout the map, They get to the end and they close it without allowing any rounds back in. They just, we saw a 16-1 closeout. We saw a 16-6 closeout. As soon as they gain that momentum, they do not throw it away. I'm interested to see if they can do the same here as well. Just shows this kind of level of play really comes through. They don't allow just rounds to go back in their opponent's favor. And that, as I say, that's something that we see a lot at this level.
Well, it's time to shine for the CT side with the Force buy here. If ESPADA are going to get anything done in this series, or this first map, I should say. Finnegan spotting out the first. I'm actually surprised that Asilian doesn't hear that jump. 50 seconds on the clock. Mad Lions, they've got a bit of map control towards the A bomb site. Pretty much all of the options open at the 40-second mark. And realistically, yes, this nade might connect with a bit of damage, but it's nothing to brag about for ESPADA before Mad Lions can rotate over towards the A bomb site. And surely they have to check these toilet corners.
Oh.
Patsy gets punished. And now Dexter's next in line, holding away on A, instantly gets thwarted. And Mad Lions do it again. This should be an easy bomb planted. Realistically, an easy round here. I don't even know if ESPADA can go for this retake. I don't think that it makes much sense to invest these 3 forced buy players into the A bomb site. But with Innocent already on the hunt, are they even going to be able to save here? I don't think so.
Well, if not, then it would have given the opportunity for the MAC-10 to farm. Instead, they find that kill. They grab the MAC-10. I'm not sure if the Mad Lions hunt any further. They really don't have a whole lot of money behind them to start expending weapons, and they know that their opponents aren't saving all too much either. So they'll take this 14th round. Sorry, they'll be quite happy with it. Oh, just a little bit of missed time in there from Acor. Nonetheless, though, an incredibly dominant performance. The guys over on ESPADA, and you can't call out names of top players that aren't showing up, because right now Mad Lions are just playing their best Counter-Strike, and ESPADA as a whole are just struggling. But some of these guys, like Dexter, who we were talking about so much yesterday as just being an incredible AWPer and doing so much work for his side, just hasn't been given the opportunity to do so. Even when he's had an AWP or a scout in hand, the utility usage on the Mad Lions is just fantastic. Their positioning is always just perfect as well. He's never just given the opportunity to take a one-on-one fight where someone swings into his crosshair and he pulls the trigger. Every single time he's bombarded with utility. He's either double swung or some boost comes in or something. The Mad Lions are just so dynamic and so difficult to play against that he's just not been given any opportunities.
And I think we assumed losing Hunden as the captain, that tactical aptitude would drop off for Mad Lions, but it absolutely hasn't. They've obviously picked up like regimented styles, which has worked over a long period of time. I just love this from the Danes. We know that Denmark is just rife for this utility. We see all of those like statistical graphics at the end of every tournament. Astralis pretty much tops the table for utility damage, left, right, and center. And there's something that goes into that. It's a lot of study. It's a lot of perseverance. It's actually sacrifice, which the Danish teams seem to be able to go above and beyond. And it's not just the top team in Denmark being Astralis. When you go down the route with Heroic and now Mad Lions having massive impact in the international circuit, just shows an absolute depth of talent. 30 seconds left. This round should also be over. And as I said before, ESPADA's problem here, much like anybody else in this tournament against the Danes, hasn't been the ability to win maps, but literally win rounds. Mad Lions have been finishing off these teams and just chewing and spitting them out with 16 threes and 16 fives galore.
That's really the issue. When you're one of these sides facing up against a team like the Mad Lions, it's not a demo that you watch back and you say, actually, there were a couple of mistakes that we made here and there, and if we'd have not done this and maybe done this differently, then perhaps we come out on top. Instead, it's just decimation. And these teams go back and watch the demos, and it might be an opportunity for a learning curve. It might be a good chance for them to actually watch how their opponents play and go, wow, they played that setup really well. Maybe that's something we can try. And bring into future matches against the lower tier teams that we're used to playing against. But it's not anything where they can go back and fix anything that they're doing wrong, because it's not necessarily a case of ESPADA making mistakes. It's more the fact that they are playing against an incredibly drilled championship tier team that are just looking incredible right now, and they're just unbreakable.
And that's why I really do question who's going to take them down in this entire tournament. When you look at the field, Dignitas and Forza coming up next. Perhaps Forza have the tactical aptitude to threaten Mad Lions in a series, but I don't think that they would be favored by any means. And that's just a real worrisome factor for the grand final. Maybe Mad Lions are going to tear their way through all of the opposition, and they're also in week 10 as well. Maybe they're just by far the best team that we have to offer in this tournament. In terms of tactical aptitude, they certainly are right up there. And I cannot think of somebody, just a single team that even comes close to challenging them. Maybe Gambit Youngsters at their prime might have touched this team ever so slightly, but Mad Lions are showing us a different tier of Counter-Strike. It's like when you buy a cream cake from Sainsbury's and then go to the butcher's and get real cream, real sugar, and it's all perfect. This is the real deal here.
It absolutely is. I would have put MIBR as one of those teams in contention, but we saw how the Mad Lions dealt with them yesterday. And actually, they dealt with them in a similar fashion to how they're dealing with ESPADA right now. It's, of course, 15-3, a good opportunity for them to close out this map right here without letting their opponents get any rounds back in. Of course, they've got the bomb site, a 3 versus 3. Roy's trying to put it to bed, but Dima says no. Innocent nonetheless finds himself that free kill, and he gets himself another as well. The swing goes through, Dima falls, and the Mad Lions take the map 16-3. Another crazy dominant performance, Squid.
That is just about as one-sided as it possibly gets here. Mad Lions just putting together master strokes on their CT sides. And once again on Overpass, remember, that was ESPADA's pick. We go on to Nuke next, which also has a very one-sided CT side affair. It's a really worrisome result for ESPADA. We sometimes do see them go to sleep in certain maps. But when I look at ESPADA, I see them as a team with a very polarized map pool. They've got these 3 or 4 maps at the very top of the tables that they're really good on. Overpass being number 1 here, and even getting Vertigo out of the pool, which they're not confident on. Obviously, Mad Lions is. They're now forced on to Nuke. It's an uphill struggle from here. And we're not talking about a little hill like the Malvern Hills. We're talking about an Everest here against the Mad Lions. Either way, we're going to jump to a very short break. But don't go anywhere. We've got Nuke coming up after this.
Nice shot. Lock and load.
Wow, very good. Let me show you how it is done. Yeah, no. vehicle fights I've been to.
Welcome back, everybody. It's your daily dose of Malta vibes. We're here with the Eden Arena semi-finals. I'm excited. Of course, it's Mad Lions versus ESPADA taking center stage. And what a map to get us started. ESPADA looked dead in the water. I don't even know if it's their fault, considering Mad Lions, they look flawless in this tournament. They're ragdolling. They're beasting everybody, Jay.
They absolutely are, and we've seen no different today. And why would we expect any different? A 16-3 performance on Overpass, which not only was ESPADA's map pick, it's actually just undisputedly their best map. Yeah, so to pull out a performance like that there is incredible. And then going on to Nuke, which is this second map, which is their pick. It's one of ESPADA's worst maps. What are we to expect here, Squid? A 16-1, a 16-0? I don't think so, but I think it should still be a fairly dominant win on the Mad Lions side.
I really don't know what to think, to be perfectly honest. I guess it comes down to that knife round, realistically, which side Mad Lions get to start on. If they do have to start on that terrorist half, then perhaps it's like a slightly more even side, and then going on to their counter-terrorist half, then it's a little more one-sided. That's why I don't really like doing scoreline predictions, because it is dependent on the pistols, the knife round, these factors that we can't really predict whatsoever, realistically. So Mad Lions, I don't want to condemn them to having to take a 16-2 performance here, otherwise it's bad. A win is a win at the end of the day. If they can even post up a 16-9, 16-10, then they're in the grand finals against either Dignitas or Forza later tonight.
Absolutely. Actually, the pistol round ends up being a bit more of a coin flip than you'd think so much of the time. If you ever look at like individual round odds for a game, no matter who's playing, it's almost like dead 50-50 on a pistol round, because like it can just change. It's so temperamental so much of the time. And as you say, if you take that pistol round, you can take a flurry of rounds off of the back of it, especially if you kick things off on this T side on Nuke, then there's always an opportunity for the CTs to gain a bit of momentum, as well as it is the almost always favored side on Nuke. So there's definitely an opportunity for ESPADA to take some equity in this map, but I think there's very, very little chance of them actually converting it, considering I think they have like a 30% win rate on it over the last 3 months. They've played it a fair few times. They've actually played it 13 times. They've won it 4 of those 13, lost it 9 of those 13. So they're not the best on Nuke, and I think playing up against a side like the Mad Lions as well are going to be one of the tougher opponents of the 13 that they've previously faced.
Yeah, one of the issues playing Mad Lions in a series is they just have such a depth into their map pool. They will actually float all 7 maps. They don't have this permaban that you see from the majority of teams. I guess a lot of the time against a Confident Dust 2 squad, they'll probably be banning that out. I guess they would have banned Dust in this specific series. In fact, it was Inferno. So Mad Lions, because of their depth, they can afford to target pick and target ban against their opponents instead of saying, right, we have to ban out Inferno every single time, Dust 2 every single time. And even if they do ban it out the majority of the time, when the going gets tough and they're playing against one of these tier 1 teams, they can force their opponents onto slightly uneven territory. And then here, against a lower ranked team like ESPADA, they can start to bully and abuse them on a map that they're far more comfortable on. And of course, ESPADA have to ban out Vertigo, otherwise it's a done and dusted series already. And realistically, that gives Mad Lions an advantage before we even start playing Counter-Strike.
Absolutely. And that Inferno ban is an interesting one. It's something I've got written on my notes here, Squid. I literally wrote down a ban Inferno for the Mad Lions, because even though, as you say, they do float all 7 maps, they don't have a perma ban. In the last few times I've played Inferno, they haven't had the best of success. Now, 2 of those times have been against very, very high caliber opponents, and they were close maps. But the most recent one, they lost 16-6 to Nexus, which is a map that they should be winning all day long on any map. But to lose 16-6 to a side like Nexus, who are probably 30 spaces like above them or below them, in like world rankings, way more than that, 40, 50 spaces,
150th or something.
It's
like,
that's
Nexus
a really, really
aren't even
tough
in
loss.
this tier. They're not even in this universe. They're not even playing in these tournaments. So that is quite a weird loss to take. It was in a best of 1 again. And I feel like Mad Lions don't often play their best Counter-Strike in these best of 1s. In a best of 3, of course, you're opponents are only allowed to ban out one map. And when you've got that big diverse map pool, you're always going to play at least your second best map or one of your opponent's weaker maps. And we see that once again going on to Nuke. So, yeah, it's an interesting factor here. We go on to pretty stable territory for Mad Lions next. I don't see any opportunity for ESPADA to win this. Like, I guess if they are going to, they have to start on that CT side and they have to just start the rounds rolling. But that's way easier said than done. Just like, it's weak analysis to say this. Say, yeah, okay, CT side, win all the rounds, then you win the map. Like, it's just way harder than that, especially against a team like Mad Lions. We saw on Overpass that utility was savage, especially on that CT side. ESPADA couldn't get within 10 meters of a bomb site without 10 flashes nailing them in the face, left, right, and center. And that just disjoints your T-sided push. Even if you throw correct utility yourselves, by the time you're unblinded, all of those smokes have gone, those Molotovs have faded, and Mad Lions have come in with a full rotate. Just exceptional stuff.
Absolutely. I mean, we did actually see that ESPADA, they've shown a lot of promise recently. As I say, a couple of weeks back, they actually won Malta Vibes Week 7. They've beaten some really, really good teams as well in recent weeks, obviously taking results against Apex. They took Dignitas 2-1. They took down AGF 2-0 yesterday, which was a fantastic series, actually. They did very, very well there. They beat Contact in a best of one a few days ago. So they've definitely shown promise, and I think that they deserve to come this far in the tournament. I think they've done very, very well to get this far as well. But yeah, against a team like Mad Lions, it's just a different tier. And I think that they came into that first map this morning. Of course, it was plagued a little bit by those tech issues, and that can also be a bit of a momentum breaker, but I don't think it really had any impact, to be honest. As soon as they get into it, they just completely got steamrolled. And I think they'll come into this second map with, I don't know what their goal is here. Of course, their goal is to win it, but I think realistically, they're just looking at taking as many as they can and play it round by round.
So let's get into the knife. Still semi-finals between these two teams. Mad Lions just one map away from securing that spot in the grand finals later tonight against either Forza or Dignitas. It's a ring around the rosies for the knife. Of course, this is quite an important, influential one. You want to be starting on that CT side, and ESPADA especially. They're going to want this one all over, and they will actually get it. So at least there's the first little box ticked of their win conditions.
Yeah, I think there's a fair few win conditions that need to come into play here for them to actually have winning potential. Maybe I'm being a little bit too cynical. Mad Lions have just impressed me so much. I mean, the three games so far that we've got, or the three maps, I should say, that we've casted for them so far in this Malta Vibes Week 9, they've not dropped more than 6 rounds in any of the maps. Actually, collectively, have they even dropped 10? I think they've dropped 10 as a whole. That's
I'm very excited to see you go through 9 weeks worth of games to tally up very quickly how many games they've won and lost. I'm excited for this fast maths.
Fast maths. For Mad Lions, I think they've only been in like this week.
I think they've only been in this week. I mean, yeah. ESPADA have been in a couple of weeks. They've won one of these weeks. I don't think they're going to win this one.
They've actually just not dropped a map so far, though. Like, you talk about that Gamer Legion game that went to OT in that best of one. But then off of that, they play against Apex. They win 2-0, and that's very convincing. That's 16-8, 16-11. Then we talk about that MIBR game that we saw yesterday. That was a 16-1 and a 16-6. Now they come into this series, going 16-3 in the first, and now they go, or 16-4, I think it was actually in the first map. Now we go on to the second, which is Nuke. And those loot bet odds certainly show Mad Lions as the firm favourites coming in here. They're looking absolutely fantastic, and they should be able to tip this one over the edge as they kick things off on the T side, pistol round.
You've actually got a fan in the chat called Blue Rhino. He says that you're trying very hard to look cute.
Me?
Yes.
Oh. I'm not sure if I should take that as a compliment. I suppose I will.
Either way, straight on to B, and it's Acor, as per usual, to start off the action with the aggressive pistol. Straight in on through, and now, well, I thought it was dual Beretta time, but apparently not, as they get shut away as well. This is quite the stomp from Mad Lions, as everybody gets shut down for the CTs. Round already over, 1-0 on the board already, and maybe just picking up from where they left off on Overpass.
That's really the thing. They've got so much momentum built up right now. It's something we talk a lot about in Counter-Strike and in these series. A lot of these teams, very, very momentum based. And especially when you're Mad Lions, you've just come off of the back of, well, it was like 3-3 in that last map. So they actually won like sort of 12, 13 rounds in a row to close it out. You then come into the second map after like a 5-10 minute break. You are going to be absolutely steaming to get started. That's exactly what they do in that pistol round. Looking to find more as well in the second as they've got the rifles to work with. The wall of smokes is up. Sophic should be able to hear the sound cues. I'm surprised he just can't connect any of those through the smoke. Nice rotation from Dima with this MP9. There's potential for him to get some work done here, especially with Finnegan on that Deagle. He does find himself the first, but he starts to backtrack, wants to fall away. Finnegan finds one of his own, but the trade comes through from Roy, looking for a third as well, and he lands it. Absolutely nailing through the defense. It leaves it all down to Patsy in a 1-on-3. Only the Deagle in hand. He is going to be able to retrieve the scout, but Roy's there. He's hungry for more. They actually start to fall back, but Patsy wants the frags, and he's able to convert one. Actually picks himself up an AK. This becomes somewhat doable, especially considering he's got full HP. He's got the Kevlar. Mad Lions are able to get that bomb plant on A, and they're going to know exactly where he's coming from. Acor puts it to bed, retrieves a second AK as well, and the Mad Lions take it 2-0.
Down on the B bomb site. This looked promising for a couple of moments. 2 quick kills traded back through, and there's one to boot on top. Roy providing all of the frags with that underused MP5. And now Mad Lions, they look even more dangerous with the AK-47s in hand. I guess Acor's actually picked up a Deagle for this one, considering he wants the full buy in the next in the form of the AWP. Something Mad Lions do rely on this T side of Nuke. And he wants it out nice and early, knowing that ESPADA will have a full buy in the next. And more importantly, this will be the first eco. Realistically, he can go fishing, and as he drops, Mad Lions, they're going to take the faces. Realistically, they need to place these smokes down and away. A messy round, all things considered. Acceptable damage done. Remember, only 1 rifle dropped for Mad Lions. And the opportunity for a tiny bit more bonus damage for Finnegan. Yes, he's rotated and wrapped all his way around. But will he know that Mad Lions might even be heading towards the B bomb site? They've got 60 seconds left on the clock to maneuver their way inside. And Finnegan with the flank, I don't know if he's going to catch anything out here, Jay.
Even if he doesn't, I'm not sure if Mad Lions have actually thrown that weapon out the map. I assume they have. That would be the smart thing to do. But if they haven't, there's an opportunity for him to grab that, either do more damage with it, potentially save it. He's in a fantastic position nonetheless to get some work done. And the rifle's actually still on the floor. They haven't got rid of it. He can get this AK. This is actually a really good round for ESPADA if he can just save this rifle. 2 kills, an AK going in off of it. Really not too bad at all. That's exactly what he's going to do. Fall right back to the T-spawn with that AK. That's a nice little prize for his kill that came through. Nonetheless, Mad Lions 3-0.
There's just no reason for Mad Lions to even aggress onto this one here. They've got the 3-0. They want that money built up. Everybody with a couple of grand in their back pocket. Add the win bonus to this. And all 5 will be sat around this $5,500 mark. A little bit less for Roy. Acor, of course, able to get out that AWP in the 4th. They do give away the AK-47 as a response.
As you say, not even going to hump for him. They want to make sure they've got plenty of cash to go into the next. Acor's going to have money for that AWP. I assume someone drops Roy. I don't think they expect him to buy himself an AK here and just have a lack of utility or helmet. Yeah, there we go. That's exactly what happens. AK drops over, full util on everyone, rifles all round, the AWP on Acor. We're seeing much of the same for ESPADA, though. This is going to be the turning point, the full buy round from both sides, the decider of whether ESPADA get back into this one and close this initial gap, or whether Mad Lions just continue their reign of terror and pull away further. Nice bit of aggression outside early on as they boost onto this silo. As of yet, not spotted anything. Acorn not quite connecting the shot with Dexter, and he doesn't want to repeat it. He's going to fall right back.
Mad Lions giving ESPADA nothing to work with, and that traded frag and Innocent in Finnegan means a lot for this T side. They thin out the defense. Of course, ESPADA now have less coverage on the A-bomb site. And as Sotfig needs to dive down the ramp onto B, Mad Lions can abuse this setup through the avenue of approach elsewhere. They've got the pincer in place from Shush inside radio room, just waiting for any aggression from ESPADA. Any mistakes, he's there to punish. And with a minute left, they can now set their claws and talons into this A-bomb site if they want to. They've got full control outside. Secret is on the cards. And they can even backtrack. This is the great thing about the Mad Lions T side, is they always keep all of their options open. They can do absolutely everything. And it really does throw a CT side completely off balance.
Well, 30 seconds on the clock now. The Mad Lions absolutely have to speed this one up. 4 versus 4. Everyone's still with the full HP. Some utility retained as well, but it's only a single smoke and some flashes to work with as they start to walk out onto this A site. Dexter still with the AWP in hand, but instead they drop down vent. Sotfik completely unsuspecting, and they will be able to get onto this B site, punching those numbers on the C4. They've got fantastic positions to stop the rotations as well. Shush holding the top of this vent. That deems that position completely redundant, and Demon's actually falling right back for the save. This is an early call for ESPADA. They don't fancy their chances. They're going to fall right back and save these rifles. It does allow Mad Lions onto 4, but it's not going to be that round where they can pull away and be faced up against an eco in the next. Instead, it will be another investment from ESPADA and another opportunity for them to put their first round on the board.
It's an unbelievably easy decision to make there. 4 versus 3, Mad Lions, just great with the teamwork, coordination. You know that you're never going to take one of those retake scenarios unless you really have to. And considering, as you said, Dexter's got enough money to drop another, this will be all 5 rifles in hand for ESPADA going into round number 5, a full buy, and keeping that economy buoyant. Mad Lions challenged again.
Of course, the full loss bonus comes into play now for ESPADA. So plenty of cash behind them. Another full investment, another opportunity to wriggle their way back into this one. But the Mad Lions are looking like an unstoppable force right now. Rinse and repeat every single round. They're going for a similar setup, and it just seems to be quite unbreakable. I quite like what we saw last round, where they run down that clock and you think, oh, there's 30 seconds left. How are ESPADA going to react here? How are they going to shut this one down? And then they actually just walk into A. They've got the utility to work with. They get down vent and they play it very, very well indeed. Completely outmaneuver their opponents. Right now, a wall of smoke outside, something that we saw a few rounds ago. This time, Sotfik with that M4, ready to try and spam away at it.
One of my pet peeves in Counter-Strike is often these smokes, you know about this, Jay, being missed. That's a mistake that you will never, ever see from Mad Lions. I don't think I've seen any with utility, all series, pretty much. Nothing that stands out in my mind. And that's just down to lots of time in the practice servers. And just in the previous round, there's no way that Mad Lions should be able to get down vents without Sotfik knowing. It's a mixed match in communication from ESPADA to even allow those mistakes to come through, and they're already down into secret. Look at all of this map control. They've got an awkward clamp on the A-bomb site, and Azilian's even looking up to find this initial information, and there's the headshot as well to combine it. Patsy, Finnegan, both putting together the pieces. The rotate is lovely, and Mad Lions shut away for the first time.
It was certainly a nice play. They just weren't anticipating walking into a stack on this A site, and Sotfik's the man to find that final frag. You're absolutely on the money when you say that the Mad Lions utility has been absolutely impeccable. Every smoke hitting, every single piece of utility actually used properly, yeah, they're not just throwing flashes for the sake of it. They conserve that utility and they use it every single time in the most effective way possible to find those frags. None of these crazy whiffs like that now infamous smoke that we talk about on Vertigo that flies out the map and you see it sort of crossing your screen. Once again, though, quite a fast round here. Look at Innocent's aggressive angle already. He's already out the door. He's found himself that free kill, but he can't get down the vent. That's the issue. When the smoke's there, you're trying to just jam in. You're running into the wall. That's going to be an easy trade to come through for Sophic. Brings things back into a 4-on-4. But with a minute 20 on the clock, Mad Lions can just kind of retreat a little bit here, regroup, have another stab at this elsewhere.
Quick headshot. Should be able to convert both kills. Look at that sweep away. Nothing even to talk about. ESPADA don't put up much of the defense, and that's the full reset. The economy's still buoyant. Yes, they can force up here in round number 7, and it is a fairly full buy. They're deprived of a tiny bit of utility on Dexter and Sotvig. Just a bit of a lack of Molotovs here, which are important towards the A-bomb site. But realistically, are you putting that AWPO towards that side of the map? They need to utilize Dexter a little better. His AWP has had 0 impact thus far. 0 to 5. Mad Lions finding all of the answers to his riddles. And they seem to be pulling the strings in this series. A massive opening map might be able to do the same here on Nuke. And now ESPADA, what are they going to do to turn the tides in this online matchup? They need, I think, a burst of confidence, and that opening frag might be pause for thought for Mad Lions.
Absolutely, ESPADA finding this opening pick, something that they've been struggling to do so far this game. As we saw last round, though, the Mad Lions, they lose that man advantage early on, and they responded to it incredibly. Let's see what they do this round. The Molotovs come into A. They actually start heading round towards ramp. Demon's got a fantastic off angle. And he is going to use and abuse it as he finds himself 3. Can't quite convert the 4th, but it doesn't matter. He's done his job this round. Acor's now left in a 1-on-4. A near impossible task for him to pull off. He's been given a fair bit of leg room. The issue is that if he actually tries to get himself onto a bomb site, that's where he's going to get shut down. Somewhat been given the opportunity to save here. He's got 30 seconds on this clock. He could just stay in ramp and hold on to this AWP. And there's, of course, potential, though, that if he does so, they are just going to try and swarm him. So he does need to change positions. There's no time here, Squid. There is absolutely no time. He's just trying to find a kill and then tuck away in a corner. Ooh, just misses the shot as well. That might deny his chances in doing so.
Looks not just improbable, but impossible. Thankfully goes down just before the clock expires. That's a second for ESPADA, and realistically all down to Dima once again. That's just a lovely defense, all things considered. There was no second man towards ramp whatsoever. Not really much of a defense on the B bomb site either, and I'm sure that we'll see that combination come through.
2 fantastic kills. You think the 3rd will almost certainly trade it. The team is good for even more. Just in case you missed it. Over at Hellcase, code Malta V15 for that refill bonus. Make sure you check it out if you are over on Hellcase. Oh no, Squid. There's a gap in it. They've missed the smokes. It's your pet peeve.
This is painful. I mean, I don't think they're actually crossing these. Nevertheless, it actually gives away a lot of information to ESPADA that perhaps Mad Lions aren't actually going for this, that this is a bit of a fake instead. And they've placed down a much more aggressive smoke as well to aid their cross. I really don't know the thought process behind this one. Maybe there was a Molotov in play, but here comes the full shot away. The rifle's prevailing over beside ramp. And now Asilian and Innocent need to get the job done against the AWP. And maybe they even head down to B here. I guess this is an open bomb site. C4 could very easily go down. I think they'll hunt for a frag just before.
Well, ESPADA have got very dangerous positions here. Asilian might have just heard that sound cue. Certainly spotted out the head of Patsy. He has to just push onto this site, go for this plant. He knows that his options are limited, and if he doesn't go for the plant, he might not get the opportunity to do so in a few seconds' time. Swings and goes for that frag onto Patsy. Of course, unable to find it. Leaves it all down to Innocent. An impossible situation as he actually gets spammed through the floor. And ESPADA not only take their third round, but keep 4 players alive. And look at this economy right now. They've got a nice buffer of 5, 6k, 8k behind Patsy. Their economy is flourishing, and this is now an opportunity for them to close this gap.
Three to 5. And ESPADA, this might be a way back in. Dexter needs to get rolling with this AWP. Saving for the last couple of rounds isn't good enough. He needs to now mount some kills. Yes, up against the pistols. This should be a tough, daunting task for Mad Lions. I guess 4 to 5 is pretty much on the cards and almost a guarantee here for ESPADA. But nonetheless, outside, if they find some kills, and there's a Cillian to get us started. The smoke's now placed and an AK retrieved. And Dexter, what a shot. He finally finds his first of the map and gunning for even more. A pair of wall bangs. Might just end the pistols here, which should be a foregone conclusion. Shush makes things complicated with the AK on A. But with 70 seconds on the board, A-Core spots out even more information. And Shush needs to fall silent. If ESPADA guess, predict, or even just find out via Sanku's where he's playing from, it makes proceedings incredibly easy for them to clear away. And they do have outside completely covered. Shush is about to walk right into this one. It should be round over. Dexter, easy shot to nail. And what a triple kill there. The pistol's making things really complicated, but nice clearance.
It absolutely is. ESPADA deal with that one very, very well towards the end there, but the fact that Mad Lions got as many kills as they did, it became very doable when Shush had that AK in hand and 2 low HP players to find. Certainly became dangerous. And they still lead by 1 as the buy comes through. No AWP available on A-Core. Nonetheless, the rifles to work with and a will to make it work. All the smokes once again outside. The Molotov is going to slow things down, though. Roy's not actually going to try and get down Secret. Instead, get close to these smokes and find a killing garage. That's exactly what he does. Man advantage now as he takes down Sophic, looking for more. Doesn't actually get taken down by Demo, but it's all a big bamboozle. His teammates are walking straight into the A side. The trade's going in the favor of the CT side, as it's looking like they might actually be able to convert here, and that's exactly what they do. Finnegan finishes things off, and ESPADA level it out 5 to 5.
ESPADA are putting up an appropriate defense. Remember, before this map, I said, if Mad Lions do start on that T side, then there's every opportunity that they trade actually fairly evenly, get quite a close scoreline in the first half, and then Mad Lions can start to dominate going into the second. That seems to be what's happening right now. We know that Mad Lions have a really scary defense. Here, the attack hasn't had the same teeth as their CT side on Overpass, but this is the T side of Nuke. It ordinarily wouldn't.
Yeah, the fact that they're even keeping this one in contention and trading rounds shows that they are having a relatively strong T-half. This is actually what we saw earlier on Overpass. We saw them trade rounds back and forth, ended up going 3 to 3, then it went 4 to 3, and you're thinking, okay, like, maybe it goes back the other way. ESPADA keep this one competitive, and instead, Mad Lions just pulled away. I'm not sure if they'll be able to here on the T side of Nuke, but certainly as they switch over to that CT side, there's potential of them doing so.
I've got a sneaking suspicion that ESPADA don't have a lot of information as to where this attack is coming from. Mad Lions are going to be approaching right outside of this B bomb site before they get any info. And ESPADA have been making this mistake pretty commonly at this point. Just realistically not taking a lot of map control themselves. Yes, they've been turtling down on these bomb sites, which do allow them to find the frags. But when the building blocks are not in place, Now the window's opening and a fast kill should come through and the bomb down with it. This now gets a little more complicated unless Dexter can provide the support, and this secondary frag is absolutely needed. There he comes in clutch. The pistol's easy to deal with. An Innocent's flank shouldn't be massively impactful. Where's the headshot? It's not going to come. That's the 6th.
A very nice round from ESPADA there. Mad Lions, they tried to change the pace. It didn't work out at all for them. 4 players staying alive as they build up that bank further. Dexter's now sitting firmly on 12k. I think they'll actually have the money to potentially buy up for the rest of the half here as we go into round number 12. That's quite a daunting factor for Mad Lions. Of course, if they continue to play how they have been and they can have a decent half here, a 9-6 and 8-7, they'll be very happy, especially for this T side of Nuke. But if ESPADA actually continue to steamroll and they take the next 4, Mad Lions will certainly be on the back foot. 10-5 down at half time. They're certainly relying on the CT pistol to work their way back into that one.
This is where things do get a little touch and go from ESPADA. They're taking many casualties during some of these ecos. Yes, the money is built up. So in essence, should be a fairly convincing CT side. But the big question mark is, Jay, is 10 good enough? If ESPADA are able to take double digits here, I think a lot comes down to this pistol round. 5 on the T side isn't really too bad at this sort of tier of play. And I think as Mad Lions would be expecting a couple more here and there. But that looks like a bit of a whiffed smoke. I don't know if it's to cut away the AWP of Dexter if he is playing behind the blue box. But realistically, it does look like a bit of a whiff to me. And now they're going to have to push in fairly naked.
Well, a very nice shot from Dexter to connect there. Keeps ESPADA ahead. Patsy on this A site, though, he's got a lot of work to do if he wants to try and hold on to it, and he absolutely does so. Finds himself the 2 kills needed. A-Core now left with 4 points of health, 3 more players to find. He has a good read on the situation, and, well, he's still connecting his shots, but I don't think he has any opportunity to actually get back onto that A-bomb site, retrieve the bomb, and convert this round. Instead, he's going to opt for the save, but he's got a long time to do so. There's still 50 seconds on this clock, and with ESPADA, with their current economy state, I think it's quite likely they go for a hunt here.
He is not saving. He's got this AWP, and there's every opportunity ESPADA might give away a freebie here. You see, he's just hunting into the radio room, now looking to pitch and poke onto this A-bomb site, and A-Core now just 1 away from the ace. Patsy has to hold this down and be the saving grace. Has a nice angle, but with the AWP at the ready, Patsy needs to not put a foot out of step and make any form of a mistake. Clock down to 15 as A-Core now wants to peek and poke inside. Flashbang received and retrieved, and Patsy puts the 1 bullet required on the board to connect with 7.
A-Core in that scenario absolutely banking on Patsy just looking the wrong way, being in a bad position. It's not going to happen, though. Patsy was absolutely fantastic that round, finding himself a nice 3k, putting ESPADA 2 ahead, and in a fantastic position to close out a good half here. Mad Lions, they're on the back foot. They're forced into this. There's no AWP available on A-Core. There's a Galil on Innocent. Fair amount of utility to work with, of course, but they're faced up against a fired-up ESPADA side with all the tools to work with. The wall of smokes goes up once again, an opportunity for Roy to cross, but there's actually a small gap in it. This is going to give Sophic all the info. Potential that he can spam away if he spots the legs. Oh, there we go. Smoke comes through. That will allow them to safely cross, but he'll hear the sound cues, and that will be the info gained.
I really want to know, maybe someone like Sloth Squadron or one of these community people out there can help me out. Are those smokes outside just really inconsistent? I know that they're hard to throw, but it feels like every team, even a squad like Mad Lions, who seem to be just perfect with the utility, seems to get those outside smokes wrong like all of the time. That's the 2nd time we've seen Mad Lions with those outside smokes. Maybe there's just a bit of inconsistency to them. I like that nade with Dexter posted. Just isn't going to get caught out by this one. And Mad Lions not really giving a lot away. And with Dima stood right on top of this B-bomb site, I don't think they've got the information. Now they need to just find the frags. It has to be brute firepower in the 5 versus 4.
Well, Dima's got a nice off angle, often goes overlooked if someone does push through those squeaky doors. Issue is he's massively exposed to everywhere else. Massilian, oh, he's actually going to backtrack, head back over towards this A side, but it's only Finnegan to hold things up. The flash doesn't do a whole lot. He's only good for one frag. Gives Mad Lions the man advantage and the bomb site, especially as Shush shuts out Sopvik. Dexter with that nade. That's not going to do a whole lot of damage. I think he might just fall right back here. In fact, no, they've got the money for this. Maybe they go for a couple of kills. Instead, he gets put to bed, and it leaves it all down to Dima. Nothing he can do here in this 1v4. I think he's actually heard the sound cue of the reload come through. Might be able to punch in some damage. That would actually be quite impactful if he can take a couple of rifles away. Be quite a costly reinvestment for the Mad Lions. Looking like he might be able to do so. There we go. That's an AK out of play.
Do you think 3 kills here is the break-even, where it could push Mad Lions into a sketchy economic scenario going into round 15, permitting they lose this one? But surviving 3 rifles alive obviously guarantees them a bye in round number 14 with the win bonus, but also a bit of excess cash. And with that loss bonus still built up from before, remember ESPADA, they took a chain of 4 or 5 rounds in a row. Mad Lions on the back foot ever so slightly, but this is their T side of Nuke. I could just imagine this being a very shut-away CT side. If we see it on Overpass, on Vertigo of all maps, Mad Lions do seem very favored when it comes to that defensive half, just across the board.
Well, once again, this outside control in contention as the Mad Lions are pushing up. Here's the thing though, ESPADA have got super aggressive here over towards Hut. They've got tons of information and they can just hold this single player there. And by him being there, they know that there's no pressure over towards Ramp. They know there's no pressure over towards Squeaky and Hut. And they can focus all of their attention on outside. Sopvix open things up with that first. The support flash comes through, but it's not going to affect Roy. And that's going to allow the trade to be converted. A 4 versus 4 now. And ESPADA have realized that they've lost a fair share of control and they're not in the positions to deal with it.
No, Basilian's right on top of the action and not being spotted out. He actually finds even more info here. And I think Finnegan's about to peek right into the blender. Actually does fall away. Remember, the money is incredibly sketchy here for ESPADA. Maybe the best bet is saving these 2 rifles into round number 15. But realistically, Mad Lions, are they going to let them get away with this one? Tima even goes for the swing. It's not going to work out for him. That's a 7 secured for the Danes. This is now looking like a very fiery T-side.
Well, Finnegan's absolutely aware of that Heaven player, so he just has to jam himself in this corner. Luckily for him, he's full HP, so he'll take some bomb damage, but won't be enough to kill him. He should be able to bring that M4 into the next. Nonetheless, Mad Lions have bounced back. They've found their rhythm on this T side once again, and they're able to put themselves 7-7. Whichever way this goes, it'll be an 8-7 half, which for a T side of Nuke is actually very, very good. Be even better if it goes their way, though, especially considering ESPADA really don't have a lot of money in the bank here. There's certainly potential for them to do it. I mean, look at this. A scout on Sopvik. I imagine a couple of SMGs, possibly even just the pistols on a couple of these players. We'll have to wait and see.
This is certainly looking like a Mad Lions win on this T side. They look very just powerful. And realistically, they were forced into ecos right in the central point of this half. ESPADA were in quite a dominant position. That's when you have to get to double digits. They were, I think, 6-4 ahead, able to then quickly take it to 7. And there's the change of pace from Mad Lions. Just sneaking down to the B-bomb site, being real ruthless with these rifles. And again, it's innocent. Instantly down the vents. Nobody checks it for ESPADA. And this is loads of map control gain from Mad Lions. And all of the options are open on the table. And what are they going to decide to do? It could be anything right now. This is chaos for ESPADA just because they're giving away so much control and Mad Lions are snatching it. There's Innocent right in the back line. Sopvik once again gets caught off guard and that opens things up like a can of worms on B.
Oh, a good flash coming through is going to slow down Dima. That one goes behind him, though. It's an opportunity for him to find this frag, but Innocent actually comes through with it. ESPADA, once again, getting aggressive in hut. Gives them a lot of control to work with, but the Mad Lions have wrapped all the way around outside once again, and if they go for the same take as they did in the last, there's an opportunity here for them to just steam onto this A site. The auto shotgun's only good for one. Finnegan needs to find at least a kill here, and he's not able to do so. Dexter has to fight out the vents, and it's not going to happen. Mad Lions win the half 8-7, and for the T side, they're going to be happy with that. If they can go onto this CT side, convert the pistol round, they should be able to close out this map.
That certainly does seem to be the case, and this being their map pick, you would think that Mad Lions would be fairly sturdy on this CT half. When we dig our teeth into the statistics, Nuke is, of course, one of Mad Lions' home maps here. They were unable to get it onto Vertigo, which I think would have just been a guaranteed win after what we saw yesterday. But realistically, they take 60% of their CT rounds, that being Mad Lions. Very dominant performances against Mouse Sports, NIP, and Fnatic. These are tier 1 teams that ESPADA could only really dream of beating in a series like this. Mad Lions, a lot of the time, are taking these tier of opposition close. Of course, they have a couple of trophies under their belt. The first time that I saw, not quite this roster, but flip out Innocent for Bubsky was in Budapest, the V4 Future Festival. It was actually their first trophy as a team under the banner of Tricked. As of there, they've picked up the Flashpoint 1 title, and they've really been romping home wins against tier 1 opposition. They're rated 25th in the world, I think, on HLTV, and I think that that's actually a little bit unfair. This is definitely a top 20 team. It's just that consistency that they have to put back into place. I think that Chaos is rated 22. I would certainly favor Mad Lions in a series above Chaos. Cloud9 rated 21st. I'd rate Mad Lions above Cloud9 as well. MIBR rated 18th. We saw how that went. I really do think that Mad Lions is an underrated roster on the scene, and not just having top 20 potential, but maybe even creeping into the top 15 as well. I think that they really are within that sort of tier of CS, not in the top 25, 30. I think that you're being really unfair to them. And realistically, I know that they've taken a little bit of time off, but everybody has. You can't penalize them for that. And winning Flashpoint, like, surely that's got to be worth a little more than 25th best in the world. You are playing against pretty decent opposition.
Absolutely.
Over there.
Especially considering they beat MIBR, Cloud9, Havu, like, to get in that position. Certainly leads to that question, but I think that just with more and more Counter-Strike being played on their part, they will rank their way closer to that #1 spot. And of course, these odds from our partners over at LootBet, despite the fact that it's an 8-7 half, massively favor the Mad Lions going into this CT side. It's their better side, it's the easier side on Nuke, and these pistols set up for this ramp push perfectly as they find themselves the first and the second. Roy, oh my goodness, finds himself all three, and only one man standing. It's Acor to put a bullet in his head, and the Mad Lions take it 9-7.
What an abusive setup there. Triple CTs watching over by the ramp, and Roy being the absolute difference maker. Look at that tertiary shot. Such flawless stuff. He's been spending a lot of time in the pistol service, apparently. 9 on the board, and this is where Mad Lions can start to get this CT side rolling up to double digits and beyond. It's no force buy for ESPADA. This is a full eco. Should allow double digits on the board instantly, and they might want to get this one over and done with. The Molotovs prevent the initial pushes. Already those kills coming through. A bit of a gap in the defense. That's something to certainly patch up as we go into the rifles, but just with Glocks, it's not going to matter all too much. And Innocent just mowing them down and taking that extra cash. Mad Lions seem to find so many frags in these secondary rounds with the SMGs. On Overpass, their second round, they took all 5 kills with the MP9s. This time it's 4, more than good enough, considering that the XM took the other as well. Just maximizing that cash.
Absolutely. They're actually going for a bonus here as well. That Auto shotgun staying in play. Those two MP9s still here. As they face up against the full rifles. Fairly limited utility on this ESPADA side. Perhaps would have liked to see a Galil on Finnegan just so that he can have a little bit more to work with there. Super aggression coming in outside. There was Roy actually spots out that single player on the boxes. I think he wants a support flash here to get something done. His position is known and he has to be careful. Yeah, he is just going to fall right back off of this one. Unfortunately, he couldn't find that kill, but nonetheless, he's able to get away with his life. And Asilium, well, he's the man that needs to hold up ramp, and he's going to fall with relative ease here.
Yeah, it's all a bait to allow Acor right into position. Acor nicely finding 2 kills without his prized AWP in hand. Now with the ESPADA taking full control of the B-bomb site, here's the dilemma for Mad Lions. What do you want to do? I guess you pitch and poke in for this first frag and potentially fall back. If it's not enough to get the job done, there goes the XM. Followed by Acor's M4. He's found 3, but I just don't know if it's good enough with the bomb this far ticked. He's going to take this corner once again, and Finnegan blows his load a little too early. M&J quickly with the headshot, and Roy just doesn't have enough HP to get the job done here. Probably has to fall away from this B-bomb site with the AK in hand. That is an 8th for ESPADA, classically taking these bonuses.
Yeah, with no kit in hand, Roy absolutely has to fall back, but this does give ESPADA an opportunity to take that round, have some money behind them to invest into this one as well. They will, of course, be up against a buy from the Mad Lions, and that one rifle saved actually allows Roy to drop a weapon if he wants to, which means that they will absolutely have a full buy. There'll be no AWP available, of course, but they'll have the money nonetheless. Oh, no, actually, there will be. There will be an AWP on Acor. I don't know who dropped that to him. Someone there must have had enough money to drop him an AWP with that rifle being saved. It balances out perfectly. They actually have a fantastic buy here coming into the 19th.
This is decent. Acor and Innocent are deprived of a little bit of utility right now, and Shush already throwing down those initial smokes. It's so costly to play the A bomb site on this CT side. You need those mollies in place to prevent any ramp pushing, right? The offset pretty much at the start of every single round. You obviously need that rifle at the ready to spam through these smokes. And then you can negotiate Acor's AWP elsewhere. He'll usually be playing over at ramp. And when he's firing on all cylinders, being somewhat of a floating voter, moving around, staying unpredictable, and just wanting to cause a maximum nuisance to ESPADA. This time they've been able to negotiate themselves into a decent position, but now they have to challenge the man with the golden gun. It's Acor himself with a quick, flashy headshot onto Finnegan. And ESPADA are stopped in their tracks. They want to take this position from Innocent, but it's just not going to happen here. The M4 holds up. A nice little one-to-one trade as they head into this A bomb site.
Oh, Patsy absolutely had to find that kill on the player coming up from Vents, and he's able to do so. Shush right now. He's the man pushed up. There's no way that Sotfix expected him there, and with Roy finding one of his own, somehow this has fallen apart from ESPADA. They had a 3 versus 3. They had the A bomb site, and instead it comes all down to Patsy. The 3 CTs are spread around. It's absolutely doable, but no longer. Shush puts him to bed, and the Mad Lions put their 11th down. That was an important round for them to win, and they convert it. Now the opportunity to close this out.
Puts him into bed, tucks him in, reads him a bed night story. Or a good night story, perhaps? I don't know. I don't get read stories before I go to bed. So I don't even know what they're called. Maybe the Hungry Caterpillar, perhaps? Mad Lions within 5 of finishing this series. They look golden for the grand finals. Almost set in stone at this point. Another eco for ESPADA. I really don't know what the change of pace has to be for this T side. We saw those loot bet odds coming into this half. It was very, very one-sided. And ESPADA haven't done anything to change the game in my mind thus far. This should be another shutaway right now. They are actually going back towards ramp to try and challenge the AWP, but they won't find it whatsoever. Surprise, surprise. It's the M4 at the ready, and Asilian is good for perhaps all 5. There's Acor to steal it away, up to 12.
Very, very clean round there for the Mad Lions, and ESPADA, they have to close back 4 in a row to bring it back level. It's actually quite a nice spray. Of course, they are just against an eco, but a couple of Deagles and Tech 9s invested there. You're absolutely expecting to find 1, maybe 2 kills. They weren't even able to find any damage. Now going into the 21st, there's no money available for the AWP. Instead, they all have to go down to these rifles. Full utility on everyone, which is nice to see. We've actually seen so many rounds where they really haven't had a whole lot of this util to work with. But Mad Lions, again, look at this aggression. Look at Agor's stance. They just can't contest mid at all.
ESPADA need to do something to contain this CT setup. They need to punish this aggression when it comes through. And Acor has a perfect fallback option with the second man holding ground. And Asilian does his job, just trades 1-to-1. No fallback option for that man. But with 75 seconds left, Mad Lions already with a full rotate downstairs. They've got a triple setup on the B bomb site. And ESPADA, they can't engage. They have to go elsewhere and backtrack to A.
Well, Acor still with a good position here. ESPADA, they're all grouped up. Of course, there's an opportunity for them, but well, they haven't taken any control that isn't inherently theirs. And they spread around the map early on. They got themselves in some nice positions, but by regrouping, it gives up anything they initially took. Mad Lions are in a good position to shut this one down with 30 seconds on the clock. ESPADA have to make their move. And Shush is in such a brilliant angle. This almost certainly goes overlooked. Dexter, there's a hole in the door and the rifle's been spotted. Shush comes out with 2. It is traded by Finnegan. But the man advantage still firmly in the CT's favor, and they're in the positions to shut it down. Acor coming in from the bottom of the ramp finds the finisher. And the Mad Lions, they convert their opponent's buy round. They put themselves onto 13. This could be the beginning of the end here in the first semi-final, Squid.
Just another beautiful setup from Mad Lions once again. Shush absolutely does his job and more with those duo of headshots. With an M4, that position isn't actually that powerful, but the AK, the one-tap potential, allows Mad Lions to salvage 13, and all of the building blocks in place for a big 2-0 here in this series. And as I said, Jay, I think that we read this series perfectly from the very outset. If ESPADA do start on their CT side, I think it's a close, scrappy first half, and then Mad Lions start to assert control when they go onto their defenders' half. That's exactly what's happened here on Nuke, and I don't see any way back in for ESPADA here. We saw those odds. They've only solidified their lead. And ESPADA down in the doldrums once again. They need 5 rounds in a row to even close up the gap in this. And being a T side on Nuke, I just cannot ever see that happening in a million years.
Oh. It's actually very well played from Acor, but the repeat gets punished as Finnegan puts a bullet in his head. They actually head down towards B here. There's an opportunity that they can get this bomb down, but first, they have to clear that AK on Roy. He's in such a strong position, especially with Asilian here to support. He's actually going to get closer. He wants to try and poke a hole in this, open things up with the first kill, and instead he gets punished for it. Patsy comes out on top. Asilian has to go big here, and if he doesn't, this could go the other way, and that's exactly what he does. He finds himself 3, swings out to deny the plant, and actually finds the 4th. The bomb does go down just in the nick of time, so that's actually going to be a little bit of bonus cash for ESPADA. And all things considered, it's not the worst of rounds for them to find 2 kills on the plant. But it was looking dangerous. It was looking like they might be able to convert it until Asilian turned up to the party.
14-8, a beautiful combination. Just watching this again, look at this consistency here. Nobody aware whatsoever, and just clearing the deck on this B bomb site. Look at this 4th frag as well. Just the initiative to go for that opening swing onto Finnegan is so powerful, and that's 14 for Mad Lions.
Well, now the full buy from ESPADA. Their one final chance to get back into this game and try and close this gap. Maybe take it in regulation, maybe take it to OT, and the first kill go in their favor. It's Sophic finally anticipating the one-way from Asilian. Now they have the man advantage and an avenue down to the B site.
Finally, a little bit of success. I do like the aggressive prompt that Acor goes for, just to try and turn the tide here. But this is a complete mowdown, and ESPADA's first success almost in living memory. 14-9, but they need a lot more than this.
That's a bizarre one. They've had like really no success so far here on their T side, and all of a sudden they come through with a flawless round. That might give them a little bit of confidence, and confidence is exactly what they need right now. 5 in a row to level things up, 6 to put them on to match point. Mad Lions have still got enough money in the bank here to go for another full investment. Acor with this orb actually headed outside, and he is going to open things up with that first kill onto Finnegan. It's actually over towards Squeaky. Fantastic opener. It's going to give them that man advantage and allow them to fall right back. They don't need to go for this early control anymore because they can play the trading game.
Smoke's dissipating. The Molotovs will fade also. But can Mad Lions establish this boost in time? I don't think any sound cue was made. So ESPADA have to be hyper aware and hard check this very particular angle. And there's a triple crossfire to try and shut this one away once more. The nade is perfect, the combination. And this is just like shooting fish in a barrel. Only one frag for Sotvik, and the smoke's placed is going to ruin the visual. The flashes are flawless. It's utility usage galore for Mad Lions to push them on to series point. The grand final hangs in the balance.
That is absolutely perfect from the Mad Lions there to respond off the back of that round and say, right, we're not going to do that again. We're going to change something up. Instead of going for that aggression towards Hut, we're actually going to take that initial pick, the AWP just being dynamic, changing its position up a little bit, goes unexpected. And then let's put a boost over towards ramp. They won't expect that. ESPADA absolutely didn't. We now go into what may be the final round of this series. Mad Lions looking to close this one out 16-9. As ESPADA take this outside control once again.
First kill nicely opens up. Roy eliminated. And here comes the response. Aspilian sorts out 2. And he even wants to go in for more. Dima gone. And now ESPADA, what are they really going to do about this one? They're a player down. Yes, they've taken a little bit of control into Secret, but Dexter's isolated and still has to move through Squeaky Door. A position already opened by the nade, but Innocent, oh, he knows it. It's the complete shut away. Lovely stuff. And with a minute left, ESPADA down on their luck, down on players, and maybe knocked out of this tournament in its entirety. Mad Lions might have just done it here. A 4 versus 2 to potentially seal the CIS squad's fate. And the double prong on the B bomb site needs to be the difference maker. Then they have to take 5 as a response. Yes, Mad Lions don't have any form of a defense, but Acor's swiftly sliding into the B bomb site. If they can take him down early, then there's an opportunity here. And he does fall, leaving 3 for Mad Lions wanting to close inside. There's the first, and they know exactly where Sotvik's playing from. Forced back by the flash. And as they move in from both angles, oh, are they just going to stick this defuse? Sotvik is miles away, and there's Innocent to secure things. Beautiful play by Mad Lions from start